Here we are, end of the year, guys. That means It means my end of the year reviews. So here we are, 25 best albums of 2023. We got some honorable mentions here, starting up right away. Here we've got Pink Friday 2 by Nicki Minaj. I've never ever liked a Nicki Minaj song, like any song in general, and she dropped an amazing record. I thought the samples were amazing. Yeah, I was surprised. We got Scaring the People by JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown. Amazing record. It's basically Death Grips didn't give this album. JPEG and Danny and Peggy were here to save us. I also have the Barbie soundtrack, an amazing record. It's so fun. I just didn't think it was enough to put it. That was enough to put it as an honorable mention, just not enough to put in the top 25. And then Think Later by Tate McRae, amazing record. I just think it came out too early, so I couldn't put it in here. If it came out a little later or earlier in the year, maybe then. Yeah, heading into the top 25, starting off number 25, Utopia by Travis Scott. Now, I've never liked the Travis Scott album since Rodeo, his first album. That was it. And this is all obviously better than Rodeo. But I've never liked I was never a fan of Ashton. I was never a fan of Six in the Trap, whatever the hell you want to call it, Birds in the Trap, I think it's called. I will say that he's had a couple of songs like Goosebumps goes hard, Sicko Mode pretty good, with the boys. I wouldn't go off and listen to it by myself though, but he had some good tracks over the years, just a couple. But this album really was surprising for me. I did not expect Travis to pull off on here, and he really did. At 24, did you know there's a tunnel under Oceans Boulevard by Lana Del Rey, the world's largest song name writer. I feel like her song name writers are longer than her songs. Then I listened to her songs and realized, no, I was wrong. But this whole album is beautiful. I feel like it would be higher. I just did not listen to it as much this year as I did with the other ones, so the repeat value definitely didn't go as hard as the other ones, 23, Silence by Songs by Madison Beer. A beautiful record. I was debating on putting it up here because I've only listened to it a couple of times, but then when I was re-listening to it again, I was like, okay, man, this is actually a really good album. It's got some 5 bangers. Writer on here, one of my favorite songs of the year, is so good. It's got Spinning, it's really good. Sweet Relief's a banger too. 22, Laugh Track by The National. Did not expect him to drop 2 albums this year, but they did, and the second one is actually really good. I was shocked that they could pull off 2 amazing records this year. The title track, Laugh Track with Phoebe Bridgers, is a standout. Also, Hornets was a really good song too. Just a beautiful record. At number 21, Built to Last by Arrows in Action. I didn't even know who these people were, but I recently saw the band Real Friends, pop punk band, and their opening was the Home Team, and then I saw this band make a song with the Home Team, so I was like, maybe I'll check this album out. And oh my god, was it amazing. One of the best pop punk records of the modern era. Like, this was just an on repeat, like a summer loop. And the lyrics were just so good. Like one of the lines he says, like, was I really made for this? Or like, I'm sorry that I had to put you through me, or hey, just checking in, how you been? Like, it's so good. The production amazing too. 20, heading to the top 20, Austin by Post Malone. Now, like, a lot of these people probably are saying, Austin, really? There's a bad album. Like, what? I thought it was really good. I love the folky vibes that he goes off here. And I don't know, I just really thought this was a fit for Post Malone. Like, he definitely was able to put this on here. I definitely think Chemical it's a good song. I definitely think Chemical is a good song, but I definitely don't think it fit on here with the folky pop vibes that's going on here. But yeah, the rest of the album was amazing. Laugh Off is a beautiful track. Laugh It Off, sorry, is a beautiful track. Green Thumb is a good one. Sign Me Up is a good one. Like, there's a lot of bangers on here. Now, 19, Portals by Melanie Martinez. Amazing record. I feel like it would also be higher. I just haven't listened to it as much this year. But Death is so good. Also, love Spiderweb's really good too. And Womb. Nymphology is so good. It's Nymphology, not psychology. 18, The Jaws of Life by Pierce the Veil. This was a hella comeback in I think it was January or February, I don't remember. But hella comeback. They came back last year, actually, in like October, and dropped Past the Nirvana. And then they dropped Emergency Contact, which is grown to be one of my favorite Pierce the Veil songs. And this album is amazing. I don't know if it's better than Collide with the Sky, but it's definitely up there for one of their better projects. Stand-up tracks, The Jaws of Life was so good. When he says, like, maybe I should find a gun and point in the mirror at myself or something like that. Just a bunch of other ones. It was like No One Likes You Anyway. It's just so good. Loved it. 17, Drake's For All the Dogs, man. He dropped an album that was so fire, bro. It made me like almost poo my pants. It was amazing, bro. He literally dropped a R&B rap album that I loved. I don't know if a lot of people else would agree, but I love this album. I would put it in top 3 Drake's albums. I personally think it's top 3 Drake albums. It's that amazing. At 16, Endless Summer Vacation by Miley Cyrus. Another amazing record that she dropped. This record definitely, because for me, growing up, Miley Cyrus, I love Miley Cyrus, but I feel like she's definitely more of a hits person for me. Not like I would just go through a whole album. I take songs I like from the albums and listen to them. She was never really an album person for me. But then Endless Summer Vacation came out. This was the first one that I would listen to in full, like back from front to back, because it's just that beautiful. And I feel like she definitely made an album for me that I can just stand there and listen to it front to back. So, heading into the top 15, Suicide and Sunshines by Trophy Eyes. Trophy Eyes was a pop band that's been around for a good while now. And the only song I knew by them was Figure 8. And I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs, actually, of all time. It's amazing. But that was it. I never listened to any of these guys' songs. And then they dropped this new album this year, and I was like, you know what? I'll check it out. And holy shit, this is one of the heaviest punk records I've ever heard in my life. It goes so hard. The instrumental goes so hard, like a freaking Bad Flower album. And then the song Sean, literally about some dude like killing himself, is like, oh my god, it's so beautiful. The whole record just brings me to tears, At 14, Autumn Variations by Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran dropped 2 masterpieces this year, Subtract and Autumn Variations. And I did not expect him to drop 2 albums. And this actually continues the 2 albums every year trend of having 2 albums by the same artist be on my top list of the year. So it's been going on for the past 5 years, by the way. So it's kind of cool. But yeah, Ed Sheeran really dropped here with Autumn Variations. I love this record. Plastic Bag, Head Over Heels. And when he's like the one song where he says like, who cares, or nobody cares, this was the day I was born. It's such a great record. He really does so good with Aaron Dresser here too. 13, Mirror by Lauren Spencer Smith. I listened to, my girlfriend showed me a song, Bigger Person, from this record that hit so hard with, personal problems going on over here, and just growing up and everything. And this album really hit hard for me, because then I wanted to check it out, and I'm like, okay, I'll check out the whole album. And so good. Like the song 28 hits like such a raging song when they're like talking about how you want somebody older, but do you know she's 28? Or Fingers Crossed, Best Friend Breakup. That one's hard because I've had a couple best friends leave me over the years, and it's such a beautiful record. 12, This Is Why by Paramore. I did not expect this from Paramore, because based off the singles they dropped last year, I'm pretty sure, it was This Is Why, and then there was The News, and then I like The News, but Sick I'm Saying, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then they came out with the album, and oh my god, it was very shocking. And then the singles eventually grew on me, and like The News is amazing, Running Out of Time's amazing, You First, my favorite track off there, Figure Eight's a banger, Big Man Little Dignity, just an amazing record. I did not expect it from Paramore, or at least the singles, I should say. I should have expected a good album from Paramore at least. 11, missing the top 10, is I Love You, I'm Trying by Grandson, another album I did not expect to be up here. Grandson, I've loved his music in the past year, but this was definitely an album that hit really hard, because you got songs there called I Love You, like the title track, I Love You, I'm Trying, basically saying, like he's really trying to get through this for himself and trying to help others as well, while he's trying to help himself. And then he's got songs like Murderer, where he's talking about how he's trying to, blow up and try to be mainstream, and nobody still sees him, so that people can see him, then he's got Heather, which is a song dedicated to one of his day one fans who ended up killing herself. And he says, like, I wouldn't be here without you. Why am I here without you? Um, there's just so many amazing tracks. So Eulogy, like this is the eulogy of you and me. We're fighting this dream. It's just an amazing record here. Heading into the top 10, we've got Unreal Unearthed by Hozier. Hozier, I've listened to his past 2 records and they're both amazing, you know. And after listening to this album, I listened to his other albums and I thought, damn, he really does make amazing music, you know, with Work Song and everything like that, and Cherry. But this album is definitely my favorite out of the 3. Definitely shows like maturity on this record and how beautiful his voice can be and how he does so good with like the folky kind of alternative style that's going on here, like Unknown Earth, and then But Your Tongue is so good too. De Selby Part 1 is one of the best vocals I've heard on a track. Just all the harmonies. Into De Selby 2, Francesca, my favorite track off here. Eat Your Young, a banger. 2, amazing record. At number 9 though, Broken by Desire to Heavenly Sent by Lewis Capaldi. Lewis Capaldi, first of all, I've already loved his first album. This broke his first album. It was so amazing. Songs like Any Kind of Life really hits me hard. Leave Me Slowly. Forget Me is a banger. And then you got like Pointless and then Wish You the Best are also amazing. Heavenly kind of state of mind. Like when I first listened, or when I was listening to this album, I've always had the CD in my car, you know, so I'd be listening to like half of it while going to work. And then I never really finished it. So then when I actually re-listened to this album a couple weeks ago, I was like, holy shit, I should really listen to these other ones because these other ones are bangers and amazing, you know? Such a sad song. And they dropped his deluxe one for like the New Year stuff, and he really added something with that too. 8, But Here We Are by Foo Fighters. Oh, this is probably the best Foo Fighters album out there. The Emotions, because this album's dedicated to Taylor Hawkins' passing last year, or a couple years ago, right? 2022, yeah. It's very emotional. You can hear the raw and emotion just draining through on Dave Grohl's vocals, and the emotion and how raw it is on the instrumentals and everything just sounds so good. And there's a 10-minute instrumental hit hard favorite song, The Teacher, on there, and then you got like Hearing Voices on there, The Glass, But Here We Are. Just an amazing record, and it's so beautiful. Foo Fighters really pulled off on this one, especially after their last record. At number 7, Zach Bryan by Zach Bryan, I should say. Self-titled record. An amazing record, so freaking good, bro. I did not expect this, because I didn't actually listen to this album when it first came out. I just had no hype, you know, around it. I'm like, oh yeah, like one good song, Something in the Orange, you know, which I really loved. I'm not saying it's like a mid song, but I love that song. But one of my friends told me to listen to it, so I decided to check it out, and I'm glad I did, because, like this and Noah Kahan's album really got me into that folk and country vibes of the rest of the year. Like it's such an amazing record. It hits so hard from home, and songs like I Remember Everything, Hey Driver, you know, when he's like, hey driver, pull off, I'm gonna fight with God. Then you got Summertime's Overtime, like, oh my god, it's such a draining song too. Album. 6, Fall Out Boy, So Much for Stardust. They came back. Fall Out Boy, oh my god, I just cannot believe this, because I was surprised, because after hearing Mania, you know, I still think Mania was a good album. I'll be on that bandwagon that I thought it was a good album. And it's not their best album by far at all, but I still think it was a fun one. But this album, it was literally, Pete Wentz said it's a mixture of all of their fans. Or if you're a Fall Out Boy fan from day one to now, you're going to love this album, because it's basically a greatest hits throughout all of our albums, and I loved it, because it had like American Beauty, American Psycho. It also had like freaking From Under the Cork Tree. It had some like old freaking Take This to Your Grave stuff, Only a Do stuff, and everything. Like the songs Love You From the Other Side, freaking Fake Out is a banger. Heaven, Iowa hits so hard, bro. So Much for Stardust, King Nazi Kid. The whole album is just an amazing record. And Fall Out Boy really stood out here. and drop one of their best albums for sure. It was an amazing comeback. Hell yeah. At number 5, speaking of comebacks, Blink 182. One more time. Oh my god, hell of amazing album. I'm wearing my shirt that I got with a CD. And this, as soon as, I've been waiting the whole year for this goddamn album because they dropped Edging last year. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, are they ever going to drop it? They're going to drop it. And I got to see them on the reunion tour and everything. And it was amazing. And then they dropped the song One More Time and More Than You Know. And that's when I bought my CD shirt bundle because it was just so fucking amazing. And let me tell you, this album was literally, the return album of the year. Hands down. Not only was it like Tom DeLonge and Blink-182, but it was Blink-182. This was the most Blink-182 album since freaking the Untitled. Like, this literally brought back the sound. Then also adjusted to modern pop punk so it didn't sound like it was made from 2004, you know? But they definitely add some stuff. They definitely add the emotion, like on songs More Than You Know, You Don't Know What You've Got, When We Were Young, Anthem Part 3, One More Time. And they've got the fun ones like Fuck Off or Fuck Face. They've also got Edging on there. You know, they've got those fun ones here too for us. And then they got the Emotional Raw Childhood. And then they have Blink Wave, which sounds like Simple Creatures and Angels and Airways just fuck each other. And it's just an amazing record. No bad songs off this record. I think it's just amazing. Dance With Me is a banger too with the ole, 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 ole. Oh, it's just an amazing record. And they definitely had a hella comeback this year. I loved it. One of the best Blink records here. At 4, first 2 pages of Frankenstein's Brain by The National. I've always loved The National. You know, I've never had anything against them. I just did not expect them to drop a top 5 albums of the year. Right here, bro. And then they dropped Laugh Track, which is also amazing. I talked about that earlier. But this album, oh my god, it's so hard. Going from Tropic Morning News to like Eucalyptus. And then he has the one with Taylor Swift, The Alcott, which is basically Exile Part 2. And then he has songs with Phoebe Bridgers on here, Once Upon a Poolside with Stufan Stevens. All the metaphors and just the lyric writing is so amazing. From The National here, they really add something to this album, and it's so touching, so beautiful. I was shocked, and they dropped an amazing record this year. At number 3, though, Ed Sheeran, Subtract. Like I said earlier, I did not know Ed Sheeran could be this depressed. This is my favorite Ed Sheeran album, hands down. I think it definitely beats Divide, definitely beats X, definitely beats Plus, Equals, all of those. This is the completion to the Mathematics anthology, too. But this album is by far his best. Like I said, it's stripped down to make you literally cry. Like, there's a song called End of Youth, which is basically saying, like, when you grow up, there's more pain taking over, and you realize things that nothing stays forever and nothing's perfect, you know. And then there's songs like Life Goes On, which is, and then there's like Curtains, where he's like just wanting to see the light again, you know. And then you've got Borderline, you've got Vega, like beautiful track list, beautiful, amazing. And The Boat, you know, literally says like the waves won't break my boat. Like, God, he does so good. I will say that there's one if on here that Eyes Closed, it's a great song, love it, but it definitely didn't fit the vibe for Subtract and what's going for. Other than that, yeah, the album is amazing. 2, though, NF Hope. Oh, he dropped something I did not know. I mean, I shouldn't say that I didn't know he would drop, because I've listened to NF my whole life, or half my life since middle school, and I will stand by that. NF is the most underrated artist of all time. He's one of my favorite artists of all, rappers of all time, and I will not ever not stand by that. I don't care who shames on him. His lyrics are unmatched sometimes, bro. His beats are so really good. His beats really add to his lyrics. He's just so good. He's not a Christian rapper. Just because he talks about God in some songs does not mean he's a Christian rapper. But no, his songs are so amazing. Literally, like songs like Running, where he talks about wanting to escape his dark thoughts and everything, and trying to escape himself, you know, when he doesn't want to hurt any people anymore. And Happy, where he's talking about how he feels when he's or how he doesn't know how to feel when he's happy, you know, and how he misses like those dark thoughts and those draining, depressing moments in his life, and mistake, you know, trying to like prove to people he's not a mistake. And he's got some also like hope, you know, like the one where he goes off and is like 30 years of patience. And then he's got like some fun songs like Let Him Pray and Motto that are also like bangers there, and Careful. And then you've got Suffice, Pandemonium, Mama, banger right there too. Like there's just so many amazing songs from this record, and I definitely think this is one of his best, maybe his best album too. I'd say pure poetry album. That's what I say. Number one though, Boy Genius, the record. I couldn't believe that they actually came back this year. First gave us 3 songs, then gave us a whole freaking album. And 5 years ago, they had their first EP, and I love that EP. And then I listened to Punisher, listened to freaking Stranger in the House by Phoebe Bridgers. Punisher is literally one of my favorite records of all time. It might be in my top 20 of all time, actually. And then Julia Baker and Lucifer Decker, so their solo stuff over here, and it's so good too. And they really cut ties with this album too. When I first couple listens, I thought it was a really good record and hit hard from home. And after keep listening to it, it's just heart wrenching. Letter to an Old Poet, Not Strong Enough, Emily, I'm Sorry, Cool About It, like Revolutional, $20, True Blue. Every song just hits you right in the heart, and it really proves that when all 3 of these lyrical design, you know, freaking producers all meet together, they can make an album of all time. You know, one of the best albums of all time. And that's what they did here with the record. And God, I need to buy this album on vinyl now. Thanks for watching. These have been my top 25 best albums of 2023. What's your favorite album of 2023? Leave it in the comments below. Let me hear it. Thanks.